Hi, podcast people.
Hello.
Podcast. Yeah, I ended up, looks like I saved a lot of stuff to put in the podcast today. Yeah, I'm digging through. We normally shoot for between 8 and 12 bits, and I have 14 here.
Look at that, guys. Good morning.
Actually, I felt a little off this morning. I thought maybe we didn't have a good morning, but I sure have saved a lot of stuff. So
it's either just a lot of stuff or it's a lot of good stuff.
Well, it could be that I really am feeling off, and this stuff's no good.
So you guys will have to tell us that. We cannot be the judge of that.
So today in the podcast, we talk about some James Bond replica cars, phones and waterfalls, Nikki's Apple Watch, a new NVIDIA graphics card, which might be snooze-inducing, but I saved it.
Well, it's nice to have some downtime stories in between the other stories.
The big ones.
So it's fine. It makes you appreciate all the other ones, too.
Pepsi and Sodastream, Hallmark, Obadiah's stance on meetings. Nikki's...
That's a classic I want our boss to keep on file.
Nikki feels like I was a little too honest.
Well, yeah, I don't think you even realized. It just came here. It all came out.
I'm just telling people my story, Nikki.
Yeah, just your thing.
This is my story. This is my song. Talking about meetings all the day long.
Well, that's in here.
Cod Blops for birthday French fry holders, Kwik E Mart's, Waffle House, and how much Nikki isn't willing to spend on her pet because she doesn't love her pet very much.
We really do have a lot of stuff. Hey, I do love my pet, which is why I spent so much money on him in the first place. So that's an unfair statement.
I'm just telling you.
He just used it all up.
Oh, sure.
You'll find out what the item is, though, and maybe one day he'll get it.
Mm-hmm.
If he's good.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. But you know what? I think just the fact that you're judging your dog at all, calling him good and bad, I feel like that's a little inappropriate.
Oh, I love my doggies.
Mm-hmm. Sure
you
you
guys
do.
have a wonderful day.
Do.
Don't forget to check us out at RadioU Riot on Facebook and subscribe and follow us on our RadioU Riot YouTube channel, too.
All right. Bye.
Bye-bye.
There are two types of people in this world, and neither one of them likes the Riot. You're listening to The Riot on RadioU.
I know that feeling when you drop your phone and you're just like...
You wait to look.
Like I don't even want to look. I dropped mine the other day and it was face down on the concrete and I was like, this is it. It's finally happened. This was the moment.
This phone lasted years and this is what takes it out.
This was it. Just a casual accidental tossing of the phone. That's it.
I have a small little hair, I would call it a hairline fracture on mine.
Uh-huh.
And then the other day I hit the light in the right way and I was holding my phone and I was looking at the screen. I was just trying to clean it off and I was like, well, we have a lot of them, don't we? I think we all have more.
Probably more than we think.
We have more than we think from every time that we do drop our phone.
Mm-hmm. I had I know what it's like, just that moment of fear that with your phone. I experienced. Okay, the other day, this is so stupid. I was in my bathroom doing something, and I was cleaning and putting hey, here's new rolls of toilet paper. I dropped a whole roll of toilet paper just in the toilet. So it was just well,
that doesn't work anymore. Did you flush it? Do you flush it if you do that?
No, I had to pull it out and put it in a trash bag.
Aww.
Yeah, that was weird.
Did you panic like it was going to hurt, but then it wasn't because it's just toilet paper?
No, but the reason I tell these two stories together is that there's a man in New Jersey at the Great Falls in Peterson, New Jersey, who dropped his phone off the side of the waterfall.
Yeah.
And he went to grab the phone, and then he fell down the waterfall.
Oh, he did?
Mm-hmm.
Aww.
Yeah, and the phone is gone, by the way. Are
you sure? Because you don't want to give up right away.
You
can't track it.
It's gone. He fell off a footbridge after his phone had slipped, and he was trying to get it. And so he had to hang on to rocks and vegetation at the base of a concrete wall at the Great Falls for an hour.
Oh, boy.
While they called for help.
To rescue him.
And they came and got him out.
You just hate when something doesn't work out and everybody's got to get involved to save you.
Everybody is involved.
And you still don't get your phone. It's gone.
Oh, it's gone, man.
But at least
gone.
You can, when you walk into the store, they're like, oh, sir, what can we do for you? You're under your phone's still on contract. What are you doing? And you just send them the article to this story.
this
Like,
is
that's
me.
me.
This is what happened, and I'm here to file an insurance claim.
Yes, the phone did get wet.
Yeah, okay? It's
We're being honest here.
I've only done an insurance claim on a phone once, but I'll never forget the question it asked me. Do you know where the phone is, but it is irretrievable? And there was like, i.e., the bottom of a lake.
This counts there.
To which I said yes.
Well, I'm glad he got rescued, though. That could have been way worse.
I don't know how substantial his injuries were, but he is on a stretcher getting carried out. So they must have had to do something to check him out.
Just a reminder, and they say this a lot, if something happens with your phone, it's just your
let it go.
phone, and you are you, and you're not replaceable.
Your phone is replaceable. And
But
you're like,
not
hey,
you.
no, it's not.
I promise you.
I can't afford it.
I know, but we can't afford to lose you, so you just got to stop and reevaluate before you act in a rash way.
Actually, Nikki, in fairness, your cell phone company, they're actually more concerned about the phone. But I mean, I know what you're
No,
saying.
because if you're gone, no one's paying anything.
There's no monthly pay. Okay.
So they should be caring about you, too.
That's fair. That's fair.
Awful, terrible, horrible, pathetic. Someone grab me a thesaurus. I'm gonna need more words to describe how bad these guys are. It's the worst of the riot on Radio U.
Boy, there's a mixture of excitement and what about what's happening here. You may be familiar with James Bond. Anyone? You've heard of him? I'll just tell you right now, I like James Bond, but I always feel bad telling people that because when you watch James Bond, you're like, oh, you can't say that, sir. You can't speak like that. That's not appropriate.
I think the older ones must be way worse, though.
You don't even know.
Like, they're pretty degrading, bad.
Okay, do you really want to talk about it? I'd never seen...
Because they were books and then movies.
Yeah, I'd never seen Dr. No before.
Which is an old James Bond.
It's the first James Bond movie in the James Bond Eon series, and I'd never seen it. And this was probably like 6 months ago or something. I just realized, I'm like, hey, this is a Bond movie I've never, ever seen. So I got it to watch it. And one of the female character that he's interacting with, she's supposed to be Asian.
Yeah.
And she is a white woman, painted. It is. It took me a while. I was watching it with some friends, and I was finally like, guys, is she supposed to be Asian, do you think? And it's like, yeah. And they just put a ton of, yep.
Yeah, that's
okay, all right. I'm just wanted to ask. Just trying to see if that's what happened. And that is, that's the beginning of
a long list of
oh, dude, the modern
errors.
The original James Bond films will not stand up to modern sensibilities.
Sure.
In so many ways.
But then Daniel Craig is doing his last one.
Yes.
And then they're still talking about the next one.
Well, that's not all they're doing, Nikki. The people, one of the iconic things that from the James Bond films is the Aston Martin DB5 from 1964. If you saw, which Daniel Craig movie was it? Skyfall. If you saw Skyfall, he had the DB5 in Skyfall. And actually, you know what? He had a DB5 in Casino Royale. He won it in a card game. I forgot about that. So, it's that thing that all the different Bonds at different points end up driving the DB5 as just kind of like a shout-out throwback to the original Bond movies from the 60s. Well, the people at Aston Martin have made an announcement. They are remaking the Aston Martin DB5 from 1964.
So then, in production, people can buy?
Yes. Now, they're only making 25 of them.
If it's in such a limited quantity, that means we cannot afford it.
Mm-hmm. So
we wouldn't even be offered.
It is such an old school car. So, for example, its top speed is 145 miles per hour. Mm-hmm. It goes 0 to 60 in 7 seconds. And they're calling it the Goldfinger DB5. So it will feature some of the gadgets that you would find in the Goldfinger movie that you see Bond use. So,
if you're a car collector, this could be fun.
It's got a rising, bulletproof shield that comes up. It's got rotating plates. They say that it will not be street legal.
Oh, well, okay.
Which, again...
What's the fun in that?
If you're a collector,
and
somebody...
if you lived on an estate that had a long enough driveway.
Somebody what's his name? Jay Leno, who's got a track that he could run his cars on or something.
I guess you're right. That'd be fun if you were a collector.
Oh my gosh, let's just talk about starting bid on the cars. What do you think this James Bond Goldfinger Edition Aston Martin DB5 with all the gadgets.
25 in production. I would say $1.2 million.
It's not enough.
Not enough? Oh, and then you can't
I'm not
even
going to be
insure
able
this
to
thing.
let it go at that price.
No, $2 million?
You know what? I'm sorry.
It's still not enough.
Right now, you're insulting yourself.
$4 million? How could you even ask more than that?
It's $3.5.
$3.5 million.
But the thing is, I guarantee you, at $3.5 million, you buy this car and it's probably instantly worth more money because there's only 25 of them.
No, it's not. There's only so much more money past that point that someone could pay for a car. You got to hit the ceiling.
You lack imagination.
Well,
like there are, even though you and I can't fathom it, there's so many people out there with money that would do something like this.
Like to think about say $3 million, right?
Okay.
So to think that that's what you have just to spend on a car,
right?
Let alone the rest of your life that you need money with.
Yeah.
Gosh, that's amazing.
I know. I was just hoping for a couple of like to hit like a really killer vacation or something.
You just no. It's like instead, I bought this car.
What about actually? You know what? If you want to talk about something to get really excited about, what if I got an appetizer?
That's not even.
But that seems like a waste,
that's
right?
It's not even street legal. That can't even be like your driving car.
No. No.
That is something.
It really is.
Different world, different cars.
Different scale. Whole different scale.
The Riot with Obadiah.
Them honey buns and Cheetos done caught up with me.
The Riot with Nikki.
Yeah, she's a liar because I don't know her. So whatever she says is a lie. So
The Riot, RadioU.
All right, I got a little nerd talk for you this morning.
Buckle in and get ready.
Yesterday, the people at NVIDIA unveiled their new graphics cards for computers. And I do a lot of my gaming on my PC. And a couple of years ago, in what can only be described as a very stupid choice, I spent a lot of money on a graphics card, like nearly top of the line. And
was that the one that you had to like?
I bought. Okay,
it was random hours of the night when it would pop up.
I had surgery and I was on a lot of painkillers, and I just happened to be awake at 3:00 in the morning for no good reason. They were available. The purchase was made,
but it was like only going to be available for a few minutes at different times because everybody wanted them.
Eric and I both, for weeks, had tried to buy one, and I had, in fairness, I had been pinching pennies and saving money for, I don't know, 6 months, almost a year. Like I was ready for that, and I was excited about it. And so, it happened. And since then, like they've put out like nicer versions of it, whatever. But I've just been trying to stay happy and healthy where I'm at.
Yeah, content.
So yesterday they unveiled what they're calling the GeForce RTX. Now, just as a side note, if you're like, I don't care, I play on consoles, this is the stuff that makes your next console better. So when there's a new PlayStation and a new Xbox, these are the things they'll be putting in those boxes, even though right now it doesn't mean a whole lot to you. So anytime a company pushes that kind of tech forward, it eventually trickles down into a more kind of consumer-friendly level device. But they announced these graphics cards, and they are between $500 and $1,000.
So comparable, I guess, back to what you guys paid.
It seems like a lot, but may I remind you that I'm not asking for a replica Goldfinger Aston Martin DB5.
Which, as we talked about earlier, is way more.
I only need $1,000 for this graphics card. Just kidding, I'm not getting it.
Do you get any other money out of your old one, though?
Oh, yeah, I could. I could sell it, make a couple of $100, and then, but I've just decided that, you know what? It's time. It got to stay out of the game.
Sure.
It's time.
Let it come out, then it gets lowered after a while,
cheaper.
And then you can jump in.
Yeah, and right now, I mean, I have a quarter right now that I could put towards it, so that means
You're on your way.
I only need $999.75.
I mean, put the jar out on the table. You'll have it before the end of the day.
The journey has begun.
That's how you have to save money, though, okay?
Just a little
quarter
bit
at
a time.
And you don't think that change will work and help, but it does.
Yeah, and I mean, you could have, if you just save your change, you'll probably have $100 by the end of the year.
By the end of the year.
So
yes, we got that.
By 2028, you're going to be ready.
My favorite part of the worst of the riot, when they shut up and the music starts. It's the worst of the Riot on Radio U.
I want to know what happened to your Apple Watch.
Oh, yeah. I don't have my Apple Watch on me.
Did you have your Genius appointment yet?
Yeah, I went yesterday. Super nice guy.
Okay.
Very, very friendly.
Did they offer you anything to drink?
No.
The Microsoft store is better.
When Obi took his Xbox to the Microsoft store, like, they give you snacks and drinks and stuff.
I walked in there like, what do you want to drink? And I was like,
feel
well,
like
what?
they need to try harder.
What do you have? And he was like, you just tell me what you want. I was like, Diet Mountain Dew? He's like, I'll take care of that. Guy
Ma'am.
disappeared. 3 minutes later, can of Diet Mountain Dew that I'm sure he bought from a, vending machine somewhere.
Sure. Well, he got it for you.
So,
My guy was very nice. It kind of goes back and forth when you have a tech support or if you go and have to meet with a company or somehow. Like, you either get they don't care about you and you're just sitting there and you feel like neglected and lonely. Or then the other side is sometimes they bother you too much and they're just talking to you about, like, Starbucks went through this phase where I think they told everybody.
What are you guys doing today?
Yeah, like to literally try to get a play-by-play of this person's entire day. And you just wanted to sit there. But this guy was right in the middle. It was perfect. We still talked, but yet no one's bothering anybody. He was a very nice guy.
Held hands, but no making out.
Pretty much.
Okay.
But super nice guy. So on Saturday was somewhere and I looked down at my Apple Watch, and if you've ever seen one, it's got, the glass on the top, and the glass was off and it had split and slit the entire way around. I must have knocked it on some corner or something, and it was still attached. Like, there's a cord that goes up to the screen, but it was not good.
So what did he say? Was it like,
he goes, wow,
we see this all the time?
No, not with how it cracked. He'd not seen it like that before.
Did he accuse you of cracking it?
No, he was actually.
Did you hit your husband with it?
No, he was quite amazed at it because it wasn't shattered. It was literally like someone took a laser and just cut along the edge of it. It was kind of like, it seemed like that, but obviously I didn't do that.
Okay. Eric's been getting into a lot of power tools and stuff like that. Did he buy a laser?
No, he did not. I think I just must have whacked my hand and I just hit the sweet spot with it and it came off. So it'll take 3 to 5 days to come back, and it should be free to fix it. If not, it might cost $65.
Eric has trained me that when I hear the word should.
I know, yeah. They run a card because they say sometimes they reevaluate it there, but the most it'll be is $65.
Well, that's not so bad.
No, I was thinking it could be worse.
I mean, my Xbox was completely free, and I got a Diet Mountain Dew, and I left the store with a new Xbox, but it's fine.
Actually, if you want to know the truth, I got to say thanks to my dad for this. I never have enough in the budget to pay for the Apple Care.
Well, yeah.
And I had an Apple Watch, then my dad got one. He didn't want it. So he gave me his since it was newer and waterproof. And he did buy the Apple Care for it.
Oh, yeah. So
when I came in, I didn't know if there was Apple Care on it or not. I was like, yes, he bought it. Thanks. I was very excited.
Way to go, Dad.
Yay!
This makes up for all those yellow kitchen comments.
It's perfect. Whereas I would have been like, no, it's fine. I don't need to buy it.
Yeah.
And then I would have been messed up.
No, that's me. I'm always like, it's fine, and then it breaks.
Yeah, and then it's gone. But so, yeah, it should be here by the end of the week.
All right. Well, hey, you know what? You had a good experience.
No problems. Not too bad. Easy fix. I was happy with it.
Good for you.
Food fights, band interviews, Twitter fights. How else would you want to start your morning?
I feel traumatized, bruh. And now I'm tweeting about you, bruh. And now you're trending, bruh. And now your life is ruined, bruh. And now you're fired, bruh.
It's the Riot on Radio U.
Well, looky what we have here. I was thinking about going shopping, and Pepsi went shopping yesterday.
What did Pepsi buy?
Now, when companies go shopping, they don't just buy, a little something. They go big. They bought Sodastream yesterday. $3.2 billion that Pepsi paid for Sodastream. So, I mean, it doesn't say here, but do you think that means that now you'll be able to buy Pepsi syrup for your Sodastream eventually?
Pretty much. What they were saying, though, the real heart of this is when it comes to soda and how the market is.
Yeah.
The biggest moneymaker right now is sparkling waters.
Really?
It is not soda.
Fruit flavored sparkling water.
Yes. And so Pepsi, they feel this is an investment, and for people that are trying to say, well, I don't want to buy soda anymore, I would like a healthy alternative.
It's still high fructose corn syrup,
but
guys.
It's got
but
the
it makes
appearance.
you think that it's healthy.
Pretty much. And then the at-home use of, again, you feel like you're saving money and trying to market your Pepsi items that way. So yes, it's for Sodastream, but the bigger picture might involve more of sparkling water, and that's what Pepsi's going after more.
Yeah, it's a good call. I mean, you can make that kind of sparkling flavored water. You can make a ton of stuff with Sodastream. I looked at one, but again, you guys know where I'm at. I completely gave up soda for probably 8 or 9 months over the course of last year and this year, and then slowly have allowed myself to have
every so often.
Yeah, like a couple times a week with lunch. And I will tell you that I do have, and I say this with no shame, I have Saturday or Sunday soda. It's one or the other. I can sit down and play video games on either Saturday or Sunday afternoon, and I'm allowed to go get a soda and drink that while I play that afternoon. And so it's 2 or 3 times a week. It doesn't own my life.
And you also drink sometimes more clear soda.
Yeah, that's
it makes you feel better.
Yeah, it's corn sugar, all right? I'll eat corn, so why wouldn't I drink it?
It's a lot better.
Sure, it's
I tried
fine.
doing, we have a Sodastream, but we
never use it.
We hardly use it, and I was like, I'll try to do the sparkling water with it, but all the flavors just have this weird aftertaste.
It's not quite right?
Just not quite what I was looking for.
Do you think if you added a little more?
Probably.
Syrup?
Probably, but then you're right at that point. I might as well just go have soda.
I had a friend who, he didn't technically work for Pepsi. He worked for a temp agency, but I guess one of the way Pepsi got around offering benefits was hiring people from the temp agency long term. And so he had worked for Pepsi for a long time, but after working for the temp agency and Pepsi for 6 months, they let you drink fresh Pepsi. It's like one of their perks or whatever. And he said that fresh Pepsi, like they just made it, was like one of the most incredible tasting things ever.
Really?
He was like, oh yeah. He was like, man.
So what's the difference though? Does it just go flat even though we don't think it's flat?
He said it was just fresh. There was something about it that was so much better than what you buy at the store. It intrigued me enough to be interested in a Sodastream machine, but not anymore. Because listen, guys.
And still the heart of it is it's still Pepsi, and we're not really fans of Pepsi.
The best I've ever heard is my friend Jason built an actual soda machine.
Did he?
Like he built a in countertop, like it comes
fountain
out
machine?
a fountain machine where he's got a cup. I don't know if it's just one or a couple of flavors, and he just has whatever flavors he wants. He buys a box. You go over to Jason's house, soda for days.
Well, that actually seems more like where we should put our money towards.
I know. It was very tempting to know that I could do it, and he would show me how, and we could do it together.
Well, you're cutting back, so.
Because, Nikki.
Yeah, it can't dictate your life. It can't lead you.
You got to draw a line in the salt.
But why can't you have one here? Or it'd be too much of a problem still. Never mind. We have the counter space.
Man, I talked to somebody. We've got a lady named Renee that loves and supports RadioU. She works at Wendy's Corporate. She was telling me about their freestyle machines. I met another guy last night. He works at Wendy's Corporate. And guess what? The freestyle machines are real, and there are frosty machines, too.
Really?
Yeah. I actually said to him, I was like, why aren't you fat?
Why is that? Why are you okay?
They would fire me because they'd be like, you can't just stand by the machine all day, okay?
You could be learning jiu-jitsu right now, or how to drive a race car, or do anything productive with your life, but no. You're listening to the worst of the riot on RadioU.
Boy, I really just did not do a good job making coffee today.
What's wrong with it? Too strong?
I don't know.
See, as a I drink coffee, but not day to day.
Often, yeah.
So how do you make it wrong?
I don't know. It just doesn't taste good. I don't know why. Maybe I should have made it lighter. You know what? There's a lot of pressure in this building to make the coffee strong, even if you don't want it to be like rip your head off strong.
Everybody has different likes.
Like I brew it and then they're like, you didn't push the strong button. Well, how come? Why didn't you do that?
But are you putting that pressure?
Because you're weak.
Are you putting that pressure on yourself, or have you heard talk?
No, I've heard talk. Like I've received direct bullying in this community.
Because of your coffee skills?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
That's right. Because people will say things about you. And you know what? I'll tell you what I need to do is I need to care less about what other people think. That's what I need to do.
Though.
It is a hard one because, Nikki, I have a fragile ego. I mean, it's big, but I'll tell you, it is built on a house of cards. And
one bad cup of coffee, it's all going to come crumbling down.
one little sneeze, somebody, shaking the table a little bit.
Why make some more?
I mean, I could, but then it's wasteful. So the thing is, you just drink the bad coffee. Because at the end of the day,
Still coffee.
It's fine. Whatever.
Why can't you pour it in and just put it in the fridge and then just let it sit there and then heat it up another day?
I could do that. I'll tell you what I need to do is we have that wonderful cold brew maker that's just sitting there. I should go in there,
start a batch,
put in the hard work, start a batch, and then there will be cold brew for later. That's a great idea.
I think that could be the best idea you came up with.
I might, because we have that afternoon meeting today. All right, everybody.
I didn't make that noise.
Everybody, let's come in and talk some more. Everybody bring a piece of paper.
Wait. Are you sure?
Write on the paper what your ideas are so we can quickly dismiss them.
Do you have something going on today?
What? What?
So free with your words.
Hey, I want you to know I appreciate your idea, but it sucks. We're not doing that.
Okay. How you doing there?
Come in here. Let's rubber stamp this. Okay, it's good. Let's go. The sooner you agree with me, the sooner you can go home.
The sooner your meeting will be done, and then you can have more coffee. So he would like a little afternoon coffee is what that was all about.
I'm just telling you that if you put me in a business meeting, it's like a torture session, and I will say whatever I need to say to make it end. That's it. I'll just say what I have to say. Don't trust anything I say in there.
Just to get out of it.
Because I'm just trying to get out. And they're like, look, we have here your signed confession that you blew up the whatever. And I was like, yeah, I was just trying to get out. All right. They got that response under coercion. They told me if I signed the paper, I could get out of the meeting. So I just signed it. Of course I didn't read it.
Oh,
I just wanted to leave.
It's going to be a long day, which is why you should have your coffee ready to go.
I don't understand. What's that have to do with anything? What are you talking about? Every day's a long day. I'm excited about it. Busy tonight.
There's more. There's more. I'm
What?
sorry.
What?
Sure, the Riot could start eating healthy, or they could continue living happy, enjoyable lives. The Riot on Radio U.
I'm reading this article about the Hallmark Channel, and Nikki, be honest. You watch it.
I actually don't have the Hallmark Channel.
What? Because you just chucked your whatever, but you're getting it back.
No, I never had the Hallmark Channel. It wasn't on there, I don't think. I never bought that
extra. I know it was on. No, you had purple and orange or whatever from Sling. You had it.
I had blue and orange, but I don't recall it being on. The Lifetime was. But I don't remember.
Oh, Lifetime is like, this is about how I escaped my husband's murderous Christmas rampage.
And we have press access to Hallmark Channel, but they never put any of their stuff up anymore.
Yeah, well, I'm reading this article about the Hallmark Channel and how it is a consistent and fairly large ratings delivery device.
Is it?
Yeah, well, it's
maybe not the best, but like consistently enough to where it's always there.
Well, it's interesting because they say that it's that thing that nobody talks about. Nobody comes into class, work, whatever on Monday and is like, hey, guess what we saw on the Hallmark Channel? But they will talk about, like, I watched The Walking Dead. I watched, well, look, not so much that anymore, but you know what I mean. Like, people will talk about stuff.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
But they say, it's fascinating, they're like, Hallmark completely lacks the cool factor, but tons of people watch it.
They don't get the social media buzz with it.
You can say what you want, but you know your girlfriend makes you watch it.
It's because it's nice to sit down and sometimes not think about things.
See?
And it's not scary, and it's just nice, okay? Mm-hmm. It's warm and fuzzy.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
And I know what it's like to have your girlfriend make you watch it, and you're just like, will the sheriff ever love again? Yes, he will. And you know what? It just so happens that
Sarah
his
comes
wife,
her. She's back in town.
His wife did die, but man, look, here comes the widowed school teacher. Wow.
Don't break the movies apart.
He's very gruff, but he's just trying to cover the fact that he feels guilty about being attracted to her. What would his wife think? But then he finds the letter that she just wants him to be happy.
And the letter says that he can marry again.
But it's too late because she's talking to Farmer John.
The fireman.
Whatever. Like, Well,
But then in the end, then she realizes she loves him too.
I wonder what will happen.
See, I know it's a formula, but it's nice.
Candace Cameron Burr is the school teacher. Thank you, Nick, for throwing that my way. Okay, but they're talking about the fact that, like, it's this big ratings thing. Now, get a load of this. What's their bread and butter? They do Christmas movies.
Yeah.
And look, again, you can act like you don't, but I don't care if it's your mom or your girlfriend. You know what I'm talking about.
Someone's watching it.
Now, get a load of this. They have slated for this Christmas season. Where did the number go? It's 40. Is it 47 new movies that
For
they
Christmas?
have?
Well.
34.
34.
This year is 34. But guess what? They're ramping up. 34 new Christmas movies this year. Next year, 90.
How do they add that many more?
90. They're going to have 90 new Christmas movies next year.
Maybe that also counts like in July, because do they do
do
Christmas in July?
Christmas in
So I
July.
bet that counts both seasons.
That's crazy. It's no
a
wonder
lot.
they're all the same. If you were making 90 movies, you couldn't write 90 unique movies. You couldn't. Plus, they shoot them all in Vancouver at that one lodge. Like,
Stop.
and it's the same. It's the
Stop.
same, like 5 actresses and 5 actors, and so they're just.
That's because they can learn their scripts fast and just
They learn
crank
fast
it
and
out.
crank them out. So it's like they go up there for a month. They shoot 50 movies. They're done.
Done.
Put them in
There's-
the edit base.
there's
Fire them up.
Hallmark Channel.
Hey, what did I say? We're making fun, but Hallmark's like, make fun all you want. I'm at the bank because I can't carry all this cash.
Starting your day with the worst of the riot is a great idea because it's guaranteed to get better from here. It's the Riot on Radio U.
So, hey, I'm always on the lookout for a chance to try something free, as I'm sure many of us are. And Call of Duty Black Ops 4, or as I like to say, COD Blops 4.
Yeah.
That is this year's entry in the Call of Duty series. And Call of Duty Black Ops and Black Ops 2, both very well received. Black Ops 3 was okay.
Yeah, but I feel like the buzz around it has still just been
It's kinda
less
weird.
than previous Call of Duties.
A lot of the things that I have heard and seen is that with Call of Duty Black Ops 4, they were working on a campaign, which is the story-based part of Call of Duty. I play it every year because it's basically like a Michael Bay movie where I'm the star. And I do have a good time with that. But rumor has it that Fortnite did so incredibly well that in the middle of development for this, they stopped making the campaign and put all of their efforts into the Battle Royale mode that will be included in the new Call of Duty
Funny
Black
how
Ops 4.
Fortnite literally changed the gaming market, like the landscape
Absolutely.
of gaming for sure.
I will tell you right now, the waves that Fortnite is making, we will feel that for 10 years.
Yeah.
Which sounds ridiculous, but if you look, Call of Duty, wait a minute, what was it called? Call of Duty 4, Modern Warfare, that's the one. That game completely changed the way online multiplayer games are handled. And I mean, everybody has kind of iterated on that, but Fortnite feels like the new sea change of like, hey, this is going to be a lot of what this stuff looks like going forward. I could be wrong. I don't really know what I'm talking about, but I do know that Call of Duty Black Ops 4, the open beta for it. So they've had a closed beta, but now this will be the one that everybody can play in. It's coming to the PC, and the Xbox One on September 14th. Where's the PlayStation 4 gets it on September 15th.
So you just have to wait a little bit
So
longer.
you get 1 day early on the Xbox and the PC. That's September 14th. And then on the PlayStation 4, it'll be September 15th.
You gonna play it?
Yeah, I probably will. Oh, hey, here's something. If you had pre-ordered on the PlayStation 4, you actually get it even earlier than that. They're saying maybe as early as September 10th. So, you know what? Depending on your platform, go do a little digging. It looks like there's some exclusives, and it's going to be open to everybody, but it looks like you get in a few days early if you pre-order, which is them trying to get you money.
They want to get you hooked, and just enough so that then when it's time, you're pre-ordering it, or it's a thank you as pre-ordering it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm curious about it. I believe that this is going to have, like, this beta is going to be of the new Battle Royale mode. So their Battle Royale mode is going to be called Blackout, and that's what this will be. So I'm curious about that. I'm also curious about what's going to be in Zombies this year. Like, Zombies is pretty fun, and I'll be interested to see what that turns into. Zombies in Black Ops 3, or was it Infinite Warfare where they did the 80s thing? I think Black Ops 3 might have been looks like you were in London or something. I don't know. But that's also a really popular game mode. And they say that they've really put a lot of extra resources into zombies
Effort
this
into
time
that.
around. So we'll see. Are they going to get my Christmas bucks? I don't know. Talk to me after Spider-Man.
Let's see how well that goes for Obi.
I got some Spider-Man time that's got to happen.
There are pros and cons to everything in life, except for the riot. Here, it's no pros and all. It's the riot on Radio U.
I've been talking to Nikki about us spending more time together and doing more things together. I feel like sometimes
the show is not enough time.
The show is over and we just go our separate ways. And
you
then
mean
we just
upstairs to where we're both together?
And then at the end of the workday, you just go home. And a little bit of texting, but, not real connection.
Sure.
And so that's why Nikki and I have been setting some time aside in the morning just to sit by each other and watch some trailers and, just talk about how things are going.
That's technically the show.
Okay, sure. But, still.
This is off air. Still watching another trailer.
We watched the trailer for, what was it called? Outlaw King?
Chris Pine.
Nikki's man.
Chris Pine's in there.
One of her movie men.
But this doesn't feel like a story that I would enjoy from Chris Pine as much.
That's not what this is about. Tell him what it's really about.
What do you mean?
She doesn't like the movie very much because he has a big beard.
No, I like beards. Eric has a big beard.
That's different.
It's different.
It's different.
You're right. I didn't notice that, though. He does have a big beard.
She looked at him. She's like, that's not Chris Pine.
That doesn't seem like him.
I just don't like his attitude in this movie.
But we were watching the trailer for Outlaw King, which comes out in November.
It's the story of Robert the Bruce uniting Scotland and fighting the British. I thought it was a mini-series or like a TV show, but it's not. It's a movie.
It seems like it's a movie, and it'll be in theaters, select theaters, for like a small run, and then Netflix as well. And I haven't seen them do that, maybe, or it could still be a mini-series. Maybe it's just one of those where you go watch the episodes in the theater.
I'm going to give you pure speculation on this. I think the reason why it'll get a small theatrical release and end up on Netflix.
I know why.
Go ahead.
Awards?
Yeah.
Yeah, award ceremonies.
Because a lot of awards places, they're basically snubbing Netflix, saying like, hey, if you guys, these movies are not released in theaters, therefore you're not eligible for these awards.
They're being snobby towards Netflix on the movies, but they're not with the TV shows. I mean, those still can bring in a lot of
Emmys
awards.
are different.
But with the movies, it still has a stigma attached. Like, it wasn't good enough to be in theaters. And maybe Chris Pine was like, wait a minute, put it in theaters. And that way, you still have less of that stigma attached to it.
Or Netflix was. I mean, it's a big time, whether you care about awards or not, and I kind of don't, it's a big prestige thing for them to get that. And I mean, okay, we always talk about Hudson and Josh, Hudson in the afternoon, Josh at night. Like, they will watch all of the movies nominated for the Best Picture Academy Award. Well, Netflix wants to secure viewers like that. And they want people to say, like, hey, we have good movies. The Cloverfield Paradox struggled, but we have good movies. It was good
movies. I just think it would be weird if you knew, all right, this Outlaw King's coming to theaters in November on like a Friday, but yet I knew like a week later it would just be at home. You'd have to be, some people are fans and rather see it in theaters because it's a better experience. Or you support someone in the movie or the story with it. But I'm curious what numbers would actually bring in.
Would you go see
No, I would not.
Okay.
Not if it was right then and there.
Didn't even need to ask the question.
What's the point? I already pay money for Netflix. Why am I paying? If I had extra money and there was no problem with that, well, then maybe. But
I would have to, like, for me, it would be about what it was. Like, there are probably movies that I would go see in the theater before I would watch it at home, like before Netflix or something. But it would have to be
something you love.
Yeah. I mean, it would have to be like Avengers level stuff. I mean, like very large, expensive, whatever. Because otherwise, like, do you need to see the medieval war in the theater?
Nah,
I'm
it's
good.
fine. I'm pretty busy lately.
I'll catch it next week at home.
So that's what they'll be doing.
We thought about selling the worst of the riot. But let's be honest, no one is buying this stuff. Get it for free on the RadioU app.
I want to say what is up to Wes this morning. Nikki, he found my number one Christmas boutique gift item.
What did he find?
Here. A lot of people wonder, like, my birthday's coming up next month. In fact, it's 1 month from today. And I've had so many of you just texting and calling constantly. What can we get you for your birthday? What do you want? We love you.
I don't know if that's totally true.
No,
I've been asking you.
Was I dreaming about that?
Yeah, I feel like I've been asking you what you want for your birthday, but I don't know if everybody else has.
Well, I told Nikki I just wanted a gift card because I want to buy video games and I don't have any money.
So I can help with that?
Yeah, sure.
You want me to just buy you the game? You'd rather have money towards the games?
Probably money towards, because the other thing I got to do is, Nikki, I got to start, I'm out of money and I got to start my Black Friday stockpile. And so that's something I do.
That's something that's real.
No, it's real. Like, I have a dollar amount goal for Black Friday for me.
Oh, can we make the little thermometer thing?
It goes up.
And then we just shade it in as you raise money?
Do you think I could launch an Indiegogo for that? Or is it like a pledge? It can't be pledge music because there's no music.
There's no music to that unless you want to work on that. You got some work.
This is hey guys, here's my Black Friday shopping song.
Remember
about me buying Blu-rays.
No, what was our big gummy? Oh, no, we didn't make that song. Your llama stuff?
We got that. Yeah,
your llama
I do.
Thing?
I do have a llama remix. I don't have it loaded up
People
here for you.
loved that song when you made it.
A lot of people did. We got a lot of phone calls about llama dubstep.
Yeah, so you could do a pledge music.
Yeah,
I feel like that would be a bit dishonest.
The majority of projects on there are dishonest. But
technically, this money would have to go to the llama.
No, it doesn't. That llama is lucky that I gave it a shot.
It's breaking music. All right, so you wanna?
I had an item.
Yeah. What is it?
Do you want to hear what it is?
Yeah.
Because once I tell you, I
I'll
don't
be disappointed.
I don't think there's enough time to keep going.
No, what is it?
It's a French fry holder.
For what?
It's for
Send me the link.
It's for I can't. Like it's a French fry.
Don't ever doubt yourself like that, okay? You can.
No,
it's French fry holder.
All right, we'll have to dig for it now. Yeah, well, the idea is that it's a French fry holder for your car.
Oh,
So what you do is like,
it the gray thing?
You know, you have a holder for like your phone or something like that in your car. This is specifically designed to hold French fries.
Can you just stick it goes in your cup holder? It's an attachment.
I mean, like, yeah, you could, but I mean, like, this is something that's specifically for this purpose. Like, it'll hook over on the door, or it'll hook like on the window. You know, you stick it.
I like how basically they'll just take best offer, whatever you feel like.
I mean, this is on eBay, Nikki. It retails at Walmart for up to $8.
Don't go with this one. If you just Google it, there's a bunch of other French fry holders that I feel that look a little better.
Yeah, but it'd be something to hold my French fries for me, because I like to eat fries while I'm driving, and this way, you know, I got a thing. So when I'm switching containers, because you got to order a couple of fries. I can just slide it in there.
They put a little banner on this one saying "almost gone." Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
What are you talking about? That's awesome.
Oh,
little French fry holder.
Yeah, you can maybe get that. You can get it by Tuesday. This is the window for shipping. Tuesday, September 11th through Tuesday, October 16th. Quite a window, isn't it?
Are you kidding me?
Well, it's coming. It's from China.
It's not from China.
And it's not coming the fast way.
This is like from Mars. They're like, yeah, I'll tell you what, we'll put it on a boat.
They promise it'll get to you.
Eventually.
It's one of those times where you order and then you forget you've actually legitimately ordered it. And you're like, what did I get?
What's this box for?
And then you realize it's the French fry holder. Well, I'll put that on the possible Obi's birthday list.
I mean, it could be. I just, or, if you just want to make it a crisp $100 bill.
To put in the fry holder.
Yeah, you put it in the fry holder. Because, it's bad luck to give a fry holder without money in it.
That's right. Put a little gift card in it.
That's what I heard.
The Riot has a problem with authority.
It's a little rule. Maybe you're not familiar with it. Nobody tells me what to do, ever.
Nikki, I know that you're kind of on the outs with The Simpsons, but as someone who's never been a Simpsons fan, I'd totally be up for this.
What is it?
They have opened a Kwik E Mart.
Yeah.
At Myrtle Beach.
Really?
And it's not a pop-up. It is going to be a standing location where...
Now, 7-Elevens did that a long, long time ago. Is it an existing store for something else that they're just facing with Kwik E Marts?
It is a full-time, like, unless I'm getting it wrong, like full-on Kwik E Mart. And as I understand it, it's going to be open forever.
Okay.
Like you go in there, they will sell actual food and drinks, but they'll also sell a bunch of Simpsons memorabilia. So think of it as a Simpsons store where they've got,
where you can get some
goodies.
food and stuff.
Mm-hmm. It looks pretty cool. Like, I'd go in there. I just want that donut. Let's be honest. It comes down to that. I want the Homer donut.
Well, again, that was what was so popular when they've done some pop-up stuff in the past from Simpsons. Because, everybody wants to go get a picture of that, or like with the Duff beer and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so now this is all the time.
So they also have, like, I'm looking at the photo. Next to it is a theater that says
The
Springfield.
Aztec.
So is that part of the Simpsons too?
The store is next door to a Simpsons-themed Aztec theater, which is expected to open later this year. So what's this area, like, why are they wanting to have a little Simpsons block?
Myrtle Beach is all of that.
Yeah.
Like, touristy, whatever stuff. So, a Kwik E Mart down the street in just Anytown, USA would never survive because eventually you sell all the Simpsons crap to the people that cared. But a place like Myrtle Beach, you got a new round of people every week that are like,
you're right.
hey, we're going to putt and we're going to Kwik E Mart.
Yes, you're true.
I heard they got a House of Blues. They got impersonators.
It'd be kind of like if it was in Vegas.
Yeah, so that's pretty much it. And I do believe there is... they're going to have, you said something about Vegas, but like I think there's going to be more of these.
Yeah.
And yeah, it looks like that theater will feature a Simpsons 4D movie experience. Which, dude, I'll tell you, Zach and I did at Universal Orlando last year. We rode the Simpsons ride there. That was cool.
Was it?
Yes, that was very cool. Again, not a big fan of the Simpsons, but man, that ride was awesome.
So yeah, the developers are doing that if you're still a Simpsons fan, or if you're in Myrtle Beach and someone's taking you there and you don't know what to do, that's where this is first located.
Well, if you're looking for some fun in Myrtle Beach, I guess.
I meant to watch the Netflix animated show.
Oh, yeah, the new one.
The
Matt
Simpsons
Groening.
guy. Yeah, but it's in my queue, but I haven't watched it yet.
I have seen people on Twitter that I follow. I've seen some Disenchantment.
Yeah.
That's what it's called. I've seen some people that like it, but I haven't watched it yet. So I almost did last night, and then I was like, no.
If only I had a long car ride to, I don't know, say Myrtle Beach. Where I could then put the hours in to just do the show real fast.
Who's going to drive? I don't want to drive.
We'd have to get someone's mom to drive.
Yeah, okay. Somebody else's mom can drive, and we can sit in the back and watch stuff.
Wish the worst of the riot would never end?
Everything that has a beginning has an end.
What is wrong with you? Get our daily podcast through iTunes, Google Play, or the RadioU app.
I want to hit up a sensitive topic, and I don't want everybody to get all crazy about it, but here's the thing. Last night, I was at an establishment, okay? I go in. It is a self-serve establishment.
Yeah.
Right? So I get whatever it is I get from this self-serve line, and then I go up and pay for it. There's a person there, and I want to pay for it with my credit card.
Yeah.
And so they're running the cash register. And they say, yeah, okay, you just whatever. They have a tip jar out. She's like, and you can put they were like, yeah, you can put a tip if you want to, and then whatever. And I was very confused by this because I did not leave a tip.
Sure.
And
was there money in the tip jar?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I could tell that she was a little miffed that I did not tip. And I was just like,
well, what did she do out of the process?
Took my money.
That's it. And that's what she's being paid already to get.
So, I mean, didn't help me. Didn't anything. Like, in fact, didn't interact with me at all until I paid. But there was an expectation that I was going to tip. And it was just like, look, you're not a barista. Like, you didn't prepare my drink for me. Like, what is this?
No, that's a sensitive subject, though, because I know I was talking to someone who was doing a car wash thing, and they would get way less money pay-wise because the organization always said, yes, but you're going to make that up in tips. That's where your real money's going to come from. But yet they're actually physically working and deserve the tips probably more than I think in this setup. What I hope the organization isn't always trying to make the worker feel like, oh, it's fine, you're going to get plenty of tips while you're there, even though the job doesn't really match with that.
I was like watching the display, and here's the thing I almost did. I sat there for a while, and I almost went back and asked them because I was like, okay, are you paid hourly or are you paid hourly as a tipped employee? Because they can't, like, some organizations can get around that. So it's like, hey, you make whatever minimum wage is like $8 or whatever an hour. But if you're a tipped employee, they can pay you like $4.15 an hour or something.
A lot less, because then they say the tips. And so they're expecting it. They need it.
Well, and that was the thing that I was just like, I almost want to go up and ask, because it's like, hey, if that's the expectation, whatever, okay, I'll tip you. And
why don't you just ask?
Well,
no, like now.
You mean right now?
Yeah.
What, call over there?
No, does anybody work at one of those self-serve?
I didn't say what it was. I didn't tell you where I went.
I could say it.
It was a self-serve
There's so many of those.
place.
Self-serve place, just say. The yogurt places where you go through and serve it and you put your own toppings on. Those things. Anybody work there and know?
Yeah. I mean, and again, from my perspective.
the place?
I'm not going to say what color it is.
They're all like that.
Yeah, but I just found myself like, okay, wait a minute. Am I going to put a tip on this? Like, I don't tip the lady at the pizza place when I pick up my pizza. I tip the driver. But, like, if they bring the pizza to me, but, like, me just going in and buying a pizza, like, I'm not
a good question.
Tipping the lady behind the counter, like, hey, you really took the money. Great job.
But you feel bad if that's how their setup is for their pay and you don't know that.
Right. Okay, Eric.
Yes, Eric?
Did she, how did she address the tipping issue?
She just said, you can add a tip if you'd like to. Like, when I scanned my card, and it was just like.
Well, that's where you throw it back at her and make her explain herself. You go,
like,
oh, what did you do for the tip?
Oh, you can't start that, though.
No. And
that's
you say it real honestly. Like, oh, what'd you do for the tip?
Oh, no,
that's starts.
I don't even think I said the tone right. Like, you have to be so honest.
Like, well, I mean, the only thing I thought was like maybe, like she cleans the counter and stuff.
That's what you get paid, though.
You mean the place where she stands? She cleans her own filth? Thank you.
Basically, well, I just looked at it, and it's just one of those things where I was like, the more I thought of it, and I've been thinking about it for a good 12 to 18 hours now, where it's like,
he slept on thinking on all that.
Yeah, I was like, the more I've thought about it, I'm like, man, like, I guess there was an expectation that I would tip you, but like, you're getting ripped off. Like, you should be making
the expectation based on she just wants more money,
I don't know.
That she performed.
And it's not like she's bringing her own tip jar out. I mean, that thing probably stays out all the time.
And to be clear, I'm a good tipper. I believe in tipping.
You
like
do.
I always tip well. I never skimp out on whatever. Like my server, the delivery driver, whatever. I get that. But last night I was just like, wait a minute, what? It was a genuine conundrum.
Yeah.
And I'm still just like, man, maybe I should just go back and give her $2. Like, here, thank you for.
It's hard because you don't feel like you can ask, though, because then you feel like they're going to take it wrong. And then you have an incident.
I don't need an incident.
We searched for something positive to say about the riot and finally came up with one word. Consistent. Consistently terrible, but still consistent. RadioU.
So what did we just get done talking about that was food related?
You talked about the tipping.
Oh, yeah. Well, here's the place where you probably better tip or they're going to do
Get
it's
mad
going to
at
be
you.
bad. I'm talking about Waffle House. You know what I'm saying? Waffle House?
Yeah.
Okay.
We haven't been there in so long. We'd only go like if we had a work trip or something.
Mm-hmm.
And we got some stories because we'd always go at weird times of the day.
Oh, yeah.
At night.
What? Waffle House has you've got to be in Atlanta. So I realize for most of us that's not a thing, but we can only pray that they're going to expand this service. They've got a food truck.
A food truck? I'm not surprised.
Dude, a Waffle House food truck?
Yeah.
Do you know how great that would be?
So it'd be like for parties or weddings or stuff?
They, apparently back in June, they got a bunch of headlines, which I totally missed, for they catered a wedding. Waffle House at a wedding. Yes.
Bring Waffle House to you. So, yeah.
Wouldn't that be awesome?
it's only in Atlanta.
Man, weddings are
Awesome is a strong word.
No, it's not.
What are you expecting?
Well, you go to a wedding and it's always hoity-toity food that nobody wants. They're like, and yes, and a sweet bolognese sauce, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, but, I mean, there'd have to be a story with it. Like, we met at Waffle House and we fell in love. And now you can eat the food that we fell in love over.
The story is, screw the stuff like you get a waffle. Get some sausage and bacon, too. And people are like, this is the best wedding I've ever been to. I've never been as happy as I am right now.
Or if you're having a party or something like your worker.
Hey, man,
at home.
I go back to that wedding that I DJ'd a wedding out in Maryland near Washington, D.C. And what did they have? They had Chinese food, Chick-fil-A, and pizza.
Dude, that's
the
the Trinity.
best wedding I've ever been to.
Because if I ever get invited to a wedding, no offense, but I usually just go for the ceremony and I leave. Don't always stay for like the reception.
Yeah.
Because it's just boring.
But
this would be something different.
You'd stay, wouldn't you? You'd be like, wait, they're having a waffle. I'm staying for that. I want to see the Waffle House truck. You would stay.
Yeah, that's true.
I know. That's what I'm saying. You go to these banquet halls and they're like, we have this chicken.
If you were having a party, you should totally get a couple of food trucks to come out and do all that. That'd be great.
Do you like the roast beef? Like, yeah, that's why we're having Arby's.
The Arby's food truck.
We've got Arby's and a Waffle House food truck. Somebody argue with me. It's good. You know it is.
If you're a fan of Waffle House, so that's only in Atlanta that they're doing their catering.
I'm starving right now. What are we eating?
You had a chocolate pecan pie this morning.
3 hours ago.
Why are you starving?
Because that lasted me 5 minutes. My stomach is sucked up against my spine.
Don't want to talk to the Riot? We completely understand. Text instead. 877-2-RADIO-U.
I wanted to tell you guys about the world's biggest plane ever and how it's just finished up its taxiing tests. But then I realized that Nikki's not going to care. Why? And so instead, I have this story here about high-tech gadgets for your dog.
Hey, I got a dog. I like high-tech gadgets.
Sounds a little more like you. So here's what I'd like to know, Nikki. Would you be willing to buy a smart collar
for
your dog? And it would basically, imagine it being a Fitbit. It's going to track their steps and how much exercise they're getting every day.
Probably not. It depends on the cost and what else it might do.
Get a load of this. The company's called Actijoy. They're based in the Czech. And they say that this smart collar will also collect data on, how much have they had to eat today? So you could have an automatic feeder set up so that at certain times your dog will go over and it'll drop food, and it will drop the food because it senses the collar. And you can track how much water they're drinking every day. And then you could chart it, and then you could blog about it, and then you could tweet it.
Well, that might actually be helpful. Say your dog is sick or something and you need to monitor, or if it's a cat, I don't know if they're doing it for a cat, but
it doesn't say cat.
If you're leaving home a little bit more, you're gone during the workday, you come home and your dog's been by himself, you could know a little bit more about him.
What? It also basically has a headlight on it. Well, it's not a headlight. I got that wrong. It has a kind of some glowing LEDs so that if you're out for a walk, if your dog would happen to make its way off the leash or something, it would be easier to find them in the dark.
Sure.
That's kind of cool.
My dog wears like a buzzer collar. So he has one and it has a light already, but it doesn't do any of the feeding stuff. It's not a smart collar.
Okay. Well, it should be, Nikki. It's time for you. Do you care about your dog?
Apparently not enough. What's the price, though? That's really where we get down to it.
Do we have a price on this yet? Let's see.
Because that's the most important part.
Okay, about $300.
$300?
Mm-hmm.
No.
So you don't care about your dog?
Not $300, no. It depends. Let's see how much he cost me, around that time.
Right. Okay. All right. If that's what you want to do. But, I just want to know, how are you, do you know how much water your dog's had to drink today?
Well, yeah, I'm the one who fills up the water.
Well, yeah, but, are the cats getting in it? Is he...
I can tell.
Is he drinking it and spitting it out?
No, I can usually tell, because he likes to drink it too fast, and then it just comes right out his mouth. I can usually tell.
I feel like when you talk about your dog, he's
not dumb. He's just so adorable. He's just happy as can be.
Do you ever think he's adorable because he's little?
He's not. He's just great.
He's not the sharpest knife in the drawer.
And you don't have to be. There's no shame in that. You don't have to be. He's just loving and kind, and every so often, a little bit dumb.
Does anybody feel like are you talking about me or your dog?
No, Rolo.
Okay.
Not you.
Because I
don't see you come from the break room and then water's coming out of your mouth.
Doesn't seem that out of the question.
Fetched.
Nikki's like, yeah, I like Obadiah. He's a little dumb, but he's just
so nice.
He's so
and
nice
kind.
and fun.
Yeah.
He's fun to be around.
Well, Ryan, thank you for texting. He says, I want to hear about the plane. Maybe we'll do the plane story tomorrow. We'll save it.
It's a big plane.
Well, I'm sure we'll get to it one day.
You know what? You can Google it. It's called, wait, let me get the name of it. It's called the Strato launch. It actually is pretty sweet looking. Like, I'm fascinated by it. It's huge.
The worst of the riot is over, but the fun can keep going.
Hey, I saw you checking out my goods.
Check the Riot blog or stalk us on social media.
You want to sample them? A little try before you buy, huh?
Through riot.radiou.com.
That llama is lucky that I gave it a shot.